is there is some important stuff though. I think a lot of people think that with a cloud in a way is I string a bunch of servers together, put them around the world, move stuff around. But the reality is, and this is where I think social media companies are very much looking at, because again, this gets back to how important this data is, how important we all want. We want control of our own privacy as we use these networks. We want control of what we share, what we don't. And this is really, when we talk to social media companies, so for instance, Living Social has a big presence with us. A couple of the Twitter photo applications reside on our cloud, for instance. So we have these discussions with them. We talk very seriously about these 3 points. It's really the first one is physical security. So as much as we think that some of this stuff's secure, we really work with them as far as how do you architect that network, how do you architect for hacking events. Because unfortunately, that's going to be a big reality as this model continues to evolve. So that's one of the big prime concerns we always speak to our customers about. And then again, I get back to the fact it's global now. So how do you actually balance this around the world? How do you get it so your traffic, your download times, your information sharing is global and accessible? Again, a little bit more challenging than you'd actually think, but something that social media firms really need to think about. And then finally, it's how do you make it affordable? All this stuff costs money. If you look at I think some of the recent stuff in Hong Kong and the U.S. about the unlimited data plans coming out on iPhones, for instance. This really is starting to get to a point now where if you look at the bubble in 2000, the tech bubble back then, a lot of that was driven by basically telecoms going out and just putting fiber everywhere in the world. Just even if there's no demand, just throwing fiber into the ocean, fiber everywhere. And now we're actually at a point where, because of the explosion of the cloud, because of the explosion of social media and other type of applications, that bandwidth's actually getting filled up. So I think one of the biggest hurdles and challenges going forward is how do you actually create more bandwidth to create all these connections? How do you actually do it affordable so people can access the different sites they want and actually use it when they want with their device? So again, I didn't want to get too technical on stuff, but just give a little bit of an overview of how technology, I think if you look at probably the 2 biggest tech trends right now, it's cloud and social media. And just try to give you a little bit of background on how they fit together and how we view it as a company. So thank you very much for coming this morning, and I'll be happy to take your questions later, I think, when we do the panel. Sure.
Thank you, Jim, for that wonderful presentation. So, again, any questions, do save them for last. We're going to have a panel after this. So, the next speaker we have is another big name player in this space, Microsoft, and I would like to invite Andy over. He's the architect evangelist leading Microsoft. So he's going to talk a little bit about cloud today.
Hi, thank you very much, Howard. So Tony is a very good friend of mine. So and he invited me here, and thanks for inviting me. And a little bit about myself first. I'm a manager and I'm an architect evangelist at Microsoft Hong Kong. So as a technology evangelist, okay, my day-to-day job, I tell you a little bit about myself first. So my day-to-day job is to go out and meet our customers, enterprise customers, and also the developers. So those who build websites, who write iPhone apps, who write enterprise applications. I go and meet those guys, okay? And day-to-day I talk to like CTOs, BDMs. Recently our topic is of course cloud, okay? So I will first tell you a little bit about some of my sharing, okay? So consider me, a very local guy, not a Microsoft employee for this morning, okay? So I just want to do some sharing on what was the experience when I meet those guys, and how do I talk to them on cloud computing, and I will relate this back to social media, okay? Because social media, from what I see, cloud computing will actually enable a lot, in a very big extent, to social media. So I will do a little bit of a sharing on cloud computing part first. So at Microsoft, I actually take care of 2 big technologies. One of them is Windows Azure, both at our cloud computing platform, and the other one is Windows Phone 7, our mobile platform. So that is why I need to meet, Android developers, iPhone developers. I need to talk to them. So how about we go to the next slide first? Okay, so now I actually just have 2 slides. This is the first one, and this one is a case study. So when I go out and talk to the enterprises, when I meet the CTOs, okay, and talk about cloud computing with them, I think Jim may also agree that it always comes back to the most important point, and that is the scalability. Okay, so when I talk to them, hey, should you move your application or your solution to cloud? Okay, to cloud or not to cloud, the number one consideration in many of the deals that I have tackled comes down to one point. Does your application need dynamic scaling? Okay, so that is nearly always the major consideration. Okay, if their application does not need dynamic scaling, it may be easier for them to host it under their desk with 1 or 2 servers, right? Plug-in network. Because when they calculate the cost, it may not justify. Okay, most of the cloud vendors are doing a pay-as-you-go way. Okay, so cloud computing actually offer a different kind of payment method or payment mechanism where you need computer resources. So and that is the CapEx versus OpEx thing that Jim has talked about. So when they are considering this, if your application is just hosted in 1 server, or it is of very low usage, it may be cheaper if you hold it under your desk, right? And then some of the scenarios, it makes perfect sense to go to cloud, okay? And these 4 graphs actually describe 4 scenarios that, if I go to run 100 deals, okay, and this 100 customer and talk to clouds, those who finally decided to move to cloud usually fit one of these scenarios, okay? And actually, all these scenarios at the back, all of them, they need dynamic scaling. All of these are dynamic scaling scenarios. So I won't go through each of them, but I will just give you an example, okay? And then I will point out these graphs. So one of the deals that I have made is one of the large theme parks, okay, in Hong Kong. I'm not allowed to talk about their name because they did not sign the PR agreement with us. But when they did their anniversary website, okay, they chose cloud. Okay, so actually they chose Microsoft Cloud, but I think it generally applies to every cloud computing scenarios. Now, their anniversary website, when we approach them, why do they consider cloud? It is because their website, first of all, it is an anniversary website. Okay, an anniversary website exists for a certain period of time only. In their case, they run that campaign for 6 months. Okay, just 6 months. So when they consider their IT resources, okay, how many servers should they buy? Now, if they, people, okay, I will need 10 servers on this. Okay, but the fact is, after 6 months, what are you going to do with those 10 servers? Right? Because it will only run for 6 months. Now, and that is why when we approach them, we just tell them, hey, why don't you consider cloud? Right? Because cloud is in a pay-as-you-go subscription-based scenarios, right? So in this, just this kind of marketing or social media campaigns, when they run for a certain period of time, it's actually mean the on and off workload. At a certain time, you close that down. So in the case of this theme park anniversary website, after 6 months, it will close down. So, and the second point is that they have a lot of social media elements implemented inside that anniversary website. Okay, so those include Facebook games. They will be collecting points. Okay, when they play the flash games inside that anniversary website. Now that comes to a point that really hits the response of social media and the cloud. Why is that? This is because if they're going to host the website on premises, they will quickly come to a question: how many servers do I need? Right? And the answer is they do not know. Okay? Because they don't know if these social media campaigns will get a hit. Right? If they buy 10 servers, okay, which is in excess of what and then at the end of the day, just very low usage of that website, those servers becomes redundant. Okay? But if they buy not enough servers, they just buy 2 servers for that, and then it really gets a hit. Okay, then the turnaround time will be at least a few days or a few weeks. Okay, because if they just buy 2 servers and then that social media thing really get a hit, and hundreds of thousands of people are playing the game, that kind of that. Then they, at that point, they want to extend, buy more servers. What do they need to do? They need to order the hardware. Okay, I'll give you the best IT team. Okay, the best IT team after the servers have arrived. They will need to set up, cluster those things, get back their websites on those servers and put it to life. Even the best IT team will need a few days for that, right? So, what is the opportunity cost of losing that few days? Okay, that is always a question when I talk to CTOs, BDMs, right now I talk to a lot of CTOs. That the trend is that the CTO goes under the CFO, right? So it is actually all about costing. Okay,